Hey everybody, this is Yarince Pascual Mateo, your host here at Espera Que.
Welcome back everybody to Espera Que. It is your host Yarince here, suffering through the hard times. Not gonna lie, really annoying, but you still keep on moving. Just to start off on a light note, because we keep on ending on a horrible note, so at least to start the show on a light note, No King's protest happened on March 28th. I was out there. I will be posting some photos and videos of me. Got to meet some people, some guests that I interviewed at the Human Rights Campaign Gala. It was pretty interesting as well. But it was nice seeing most of Charlotte out there standing up and saying, hey, we're sick and tired of this tyrant that is in power, which all the people are going to say, we don't have a king. Yeah, and I want to keep it that way because that pedophile that you continue to just be blindly following wants to be a tyrant, which we're going to move on to that right now. So now on to the bad stuff. But at the end of the day, 8 million people came out. Roughly 8 million people came out. It was pretty packed. Everybody is saying, fuck Trump and fuck this madness we're going through. And I'm not going to lie, fuck fascism. We, the people, will continue to protest, to be out there, to keep on calling out and keep it going. Which another way I'm going to tell you how to deal with this is after I get through this shit show that we have, which... Starting off, Iran war still going on. It is like week 7, I believe, in the Iran war. So as of now, we maybe, I would say, 39 days into this conflict. So 5-6 weeks of this bullshit. We have spent at least $44 billion, coming up to $45 billion on this stupid ass war. 13 people that we know of killed, but with how a lot of censorship is happening in the United States, wouldn't be surprised if they're hiding some numbers. 300 wounded of people from attacks. From the Iranian side, 5,000 of their military dead, and civilians 1,500 killed and 21,000 injured. While also there's multiple ecological disasters that are happening all around the area, which indubitably will last for decades and make global warming worse. Because again, we are bombing the shit out of like oil refineries and stuff like that. But our psychopath in chief, like I could just keep on calling him a pedophile, but at this point, he's a demented senile psychopath. For the past 2 weeks leading up to April the 7th, he has been threatening and bitching and moaning and complaining that he is going to win this stupid ass war, or he has won this war, or he's going to stop this war and the strait will be open. Or there is, for historians who are looking at this show in the near future and just reviewing this stuff, use my audio to lead yourself to the videos of just Trump or transcripts of Trump speaking and him literally changing the point by every breath. Every breath he is changing this shit. Like, he started this war because of Epstein files. That's my belief. Or either Epstein files or Israel just put a leash on him and took him out to walk. Either or. The leash thing is worse, but if it was Epstein files, I'm like even more dead to rights that he will be hanged afterwards. But that's un-American, apparently. Well, which, I mean... I lost my job because I said we should be violent against fascists and that Charlie Kirk is a racist piece of shit. Donald Trump, as the president of the United States, on his True Social on April 7th in the morning, threatened at 8 p.m. if Iran does not do peace or open the Strait of Hormuz and capitulate to everything that America wants, their civilization will be erased. If you think threatening genocide is diplomacy, never go into politics and go to a therapist and ask yourself, like, yeah, I like Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. It was really good. I'm still Hanji in saying genocide is never the fucking answer. So genocide is never the answer for diplomacy. So I don't think it's a smart idea for the president of the United States with nukes to threaten another country with extinction, not for military gain, not for the protection of its people, but just because it wants to scare it into submission. Well, on that day, on that very annoying day, which April 7th, Tuesday, on this very annoying day, people were stressed until around 7 o'clock. Trump said there is now a ceasefire. And Iran, an hour later, agreed with it with 10 points saying that, hey, we agree with the ceasefire, which, again, we should not even be in this situation. This war should not have even started. And even then, this isn't something. Because Trump, since the start of this war, has been lying, has been cheating, has been doing everything out of his, saying whatever come out of his ass just to fearmonger Iran and make it that this war is just. Like, when George W. Bush Jr. was doing this in Iraq, I wasn't even, well, I was alive during there, but I wasn't anything like that. But from the history and what from people who are alive who told me and watching the videos, he campaigned this. He took his time. He made it legal. Also, the piece of shit who Kissinger, or I can't remember who was his VP, he died. Everybody is happy that he died, which makes sense. He was a piece of shit. They made everything legal for the war in Iraq, and they allowed them to go in massacring, like, just annihilate 500,000 Iraqis and just do all the horrible shit they did. They built up to this. This war was not planned, had nothing an idea. Most of the people who planned this shit didn't consult any of the experts who worked there and would have told them, hey, this is a bad idea. This was a plan made up by a drunkard, a pedophile, a psychopath, a white supremacist, and just idiots. Like Dick Cheney, the vice president of the guy who brought us into Iraq. That piece of shit actually had brains. He was a piece of shit. He was a homicidal piece of shit. But at least he had some good old American brains. These guys are idiots. These guys are psychopaths. These guys are toddlers who throw tantrums. Leading up to this day, they were that no one was helping them out and threatening to leave NATO because no one was helping it out. NATO was a defensive pact. NATO isn't, hey, if I start a war, you join me. It is, hey, if someone starts a war with one of us, we all protect and defend that one who got attacked. That's what defense is. So they've been bitching and moaning and complaining, and they got themselves into this wall and then threatened genocide. And now, when threatening genocide happens, either people have to capitulate because, oh no, there's going to be a nuclear holocaust, or he chickens out, which 9 out of 10 he does, which he did. Trump always chickens out. He did it again. But the issue is, this shit's not normal. This shit's not good. Alex Jones, MTG, Joe Rogan, anyone who supported him in the 2024 election cycle is calling out for the 25th Amendment to remove him. It is factoring this MAGA base. There is a civil war happening in MAGA where they're fighting over, because you have one side who are going to conspiracy or against Israel and stuff like that, mostly because of anti-Semitism. Some of it is a little bit of them trying to get the wool over their eyes, but still they're just being bigoted assholes in their own special way. And then the other one is just establishment, ride or die. You must show loyalty to the king. It is a bad fracture. And this war, not helping it out. CPAC was happening. They talked about impeachments. People were cheering for impeachment because they're sick and tired of this shit. A lot of young conservatives, yes, they are a lot of racist assholes. We have seen multiple group chats prove to them. Also, somewhat are human in that case of that they don't want to go die in a different country for a stupid war. Like, yeah, they're racist, horrible human beings who think I am a lesser being as them, but at least we're both human beings in the fact that we don't want to die in stupid, pointless wars. Like, it's a shit show, I'm not gonna lie. But after Trump tacos out, And then Iran saying it with 10 points, which give me a moment. Let me pull out the 10 points for this. 10 points. Iran's 10 points peace plan.
Did you find it?
I believe I have one. Oh, this is Breitbart. Fuck that. Okay, so 10 points. No new aggression again. So 10 points for what lead to a peace for peace. So this ceasefire is supposed to last for 2 weeks, and these 10 points, if met, will lead to peace. What Iran said is no new aggression against Iran. So no more new threats, no more sending bombs, no anything. So Israel and United States don't fucking shoot at them. Next, continue Iran control over the Strait of Hormuz. They didn't have that. But because we started this war, kind of being forced to do that. Acceptance of enrichment. Again, we had a plan or get ahead way before that Obama made that would not lead to this. Here we are because of the stupidity of the Trump administration. Removal of all primary sanctions. Removal of all secondary sanctions. Termination of all UN Security Council resolutions. Termination of all boards of governors resolutions. Payment of compensation of Iran, which they are thinking of doing a $2 million toll for anyone for any ship that passes through the Strait of Hormuz, which will be split with another country across from them on the other side of the strait. Withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from the region, so no boots on the ground anywhere in the Middle East, because, I mean, again, this whole shit show. And the cessation of war on all fronts, including against the heroic Islamic resistance of Lebanon, which again, they're saying that Lebanon stopped being attacked, which, fun fact about this whole war, it's also a screen for Israel to just do its whole land expansion. Well, I would say Israel, but I think this is like Netanyahu's wet dream with a bunch of other conservative Israel parliament. But again, Israel's pretty conservative in a way of like extreme Zionism, expansionists, and thinking all this land is for Jewish people, which, I mean, again, just to say this again multiple times, it is not anti-Semitic to hate Israel, because Israel is a country, a government built up and forced to exist through violence and a apartheid rule. They literally passed a law that makes it that Palestinians get death penalty while Jewish don't. So Jewish settlers committing hate crimes against Palestinians just living their life in the country that in the land that they own and live in is international law theirs, they get to be seen as heroes and stay alive, which they do already. But Palestinians, the hundreds of thousands of them that they have kidnapped and have tortured for years since they were children in their contention, and their justice system is separated, that Israelis and Jewish people have this other judicial system that has some fairness, while Palestinians have a judicial system based off in the military code where they have literally no fucking rights, and they're gonna have like, this is Nazis. Like, this is the laws Nazi made based off of Jim Crow. This is the shit. This is the playbook that Jim Crow America has been taught to Nazis, and that what apparently Israel just learned from the fucking Nazis, which is maddening. Maddening. Israel was created as a fucking sorry because of the Nazi shit, and they're doing Nazi shit. And even more Nazi shit is they're trying to expand into Lebanon because southern Lebanon borders with Israel, and they always want it, so they always call Hezbollah, which a few years back, they did a horrible terrorist attack with pagers where a bunch of Hezbollah fighters had pagers with bombs in them that blew up, which those Hezbollah fighters are just like, you know, people who fight in the military for their country. Like, we have soldiers that fight in every country. Now, imagine those soldiers get walkie-talkies and go back to their civilian life and have those walkie-talkies with them just so they can go back, and they blow up. Guess where those pages were? On their waist. What is the most common human being who has the height up to a human adult waist? Children. They bombed people in Lebanon. They committed multiple terrorist attacks in Lebanon, and they are now using the Iran war to invade and steal Lebanon land. And they're calling the people who fighting back against them terrorists when they're the ones who are invading and literally started it with terroristic attacks themselves. So again, those 10 points, there's a reason why they're there. Most of these would not be asked, and we would be in peacetime if, again, we didn't start this dumbass war. But I'm not going to lie, history is a quilt. It's been built led up to this shit show. Like after the United States overthrew Iran with its first democratic elector and put in the Shah, and then the Shah being oppressive asshole. So they brought another oppressive asshole to get rid of him. And now this constant hatred against Iran, because again, it's just another petty grudge that America has, like the same thing they have with Cuba. They just hate these countries because these countries had the audacity to swing the opposite direction from America because they are sick and tired of American colonialism. Which, speaking of American colonialism, it is April 8th that we are recording. So April 7th, it was the day where they did those peace things. Iran has just now reported that 3 points of the peace resolution have been broken by, obviously, Israel. But, I mean, yeah. Which was, I believe, the aggression towards Lebanon, aggression to Iran, and also... can't remember what was the third one. But, again, just breaking news, like most people didn't expect this ceasefire to last, but I have no idea. Like the United States and Israel has murdered 54 girls, 66 boys, and 26 teachers in their first initial strike when they bombed a mostly girls' school in Tehran just because it was marked as a military target, either because of AI, which why are we using computers to choose who dies and who lives, or it's just evil. Like, we're the bad guys. Again, the Ayatollah is a bad system. Like, they're repressive, they hinder human rights, they're bad. Like, if you're gay or a woman, well, an outspoken woman, or anyone that they deem evil or bad, the same way how they do it here in the United States with all these horrible politicians getting into power and calling trans people evil and queer people evil, and anyone who is a different skin color than white, who doesn't conform to their views and ideas, are evil, violent monsters, the same way as the Ayatollah. They are bad too, but we are the baddies because we are literally the ones committing war crimes. Like, Iran committed war crimes, but the reason why they're committing war crimes is because we started it. Like, I'm not supporting the Iranian government. I think they're pieces of shit, but our government's run by a pedophile. And to be a true patriot to your country, you don't have blind allegiance to that country. You admit that your country is fucked. You admit there's a problem. And as a true patriot, you admit it, you complain about it, you suck it up, and then fight to make sure it changes. Because the country, at the end of the day, it is the people who all decided to sit in this land and decided, yes, that is what our identity is. These are our values, and these are the laws we are holding ourselves becoming of. That is what mostly a country is. The people who build and creates these things. If we just pretend that only one person should have control and only one person can change history and only one person can do anything, that just hinders us. It's a group effort. And I'm not going to lie, this war could be stopped when us as a collective stop the dumbass in chief who's doing this. I can't say anything about Israel because, again, their hooks are deep into our politics because of AIPAC. But to deal with this war right now, we can have a war powers resolution where Congress will vote in and say that, hey, Trump has stop this, and just like do their job, checks and balances, hold the executive back, because Congress was literally made to hold the executive back. Like, the executive is the one to execute the laws, Congress are the ones to write the laws, and then the judicial is to make sure they're enforcing, they're following the letter of the law. that's how it goes. These are the checks and balances, the rock, paper, scissors. Congress needs to do their fucking job. So you should go find your representatives of number, your House, Senate, anyone in the federal level, and call. Find there's whole entire speeches, there's whole entire scripts that you can use to call and tell them, or just give them a piece of your mind. Be loud, be loud. Like, get on their fucking nerves and tell them, get out of vacation and do your damn job. Because we literally have a dementia psychopath being egged on by white supremacists, white nationalists, Christian nationalists, literal other psychopaths into going into a war that could lead to millions and millions of people's fucking lives ending. So, we're going to go up to our first break, and please use your voice and vote. Go out and do your civic duty. Get engaged in this politics shit, because yes, I fucking hate politics too. I fucking hate talking about politics. But at the end of the day, this is how we govern ourselves. And I'm not going to lie, I really do not like being governed by a pedophile who always lies to our face and expects us to be happy about it. So, see you after the break. Hi, this is Yarince Pascual Mateo. I am back. Espera Que is back in 2026, and yes, my hiatus was sad, and it was caused by a bunch of, I don't know, butthurt losers. But I'm not gonna say that. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm gonna be annoying. I'm gonna say fuck fascism, and I'm gonna stand up against this shit. So please like, subscribe, enjoy my show, and let's fight against the bullshit that we continue to live with.
Hey everyone, this is Christian and Jenny from the Coffee and Pandusi Show. We hope you're enjoying Espera Que with Yarince. It's a great show. Also, I want to remind you to join our show as well, Coffee and Pandusi, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock on your favorite podcast platform, and Jenny's show, Two Queers in a Truck.
Absolutely.
Every Wednesday at 11:30.
2025 is our 2025. If I can get it out right without something like that. We've got two wonderful shows that have joined the family of shows that we've done for 6 to 8 seasons. Yeah. And Yarince is a wonderful host, who's a wonderful guest host with Coffee, and a wonderful young man with a lot of great vision and insight. Looking forward to seeing his episodes flourish. And as always, thanks for listening. Otherwise, Christian and I would be just talking to ourselves.
That's right, and we do.
we do. Doesn't keep us from doing that now.
That's right. Enjoy the show, y'all. Bye.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody, to Espera Que. Moving on after that whole Iran debacle, let's just see the whole circus, because the circus is on fire and we're forced to live in this fucking tent. Like, I can just see the fires on top of the big house. So, as the ringleader, well, the ringmaster, I mean, is he a ringmaster? Stephen Miller is more. And we just hit $45 billion wasted on Iran. So fun. Either way, the ringmaster, while he's busy Iran, threatening genocide and shit, multiple people got their asses handed to them. Pam Bondi, fired. After Chrissy Nome got that bird-legged hoe, lost her job for, making the king look silly by saying that it was his idea to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on dumbass ads. Well, millions of dollars on dumbass ads for deportation and stuff like that, which apparently that was it. Not the people dying in the streets, not the psychopaths being hired in ICE, not the horrible racism, not all the horrible shit. It's just that she was making the king look bad. Pam Bondi, she lost a boot, which allegedly there's notes from insiders saying that she was begging to keep her job, which go fuck yourself, bitch. Which the reason why she is fired, quote, is because the Epstein files and just going after his political opponents, which they tried, and every single attempt of going against any of the political people, which like the former FBI director Comey and a few of the state attorney generals who were having those charges against, like in Atlanta in New York City, where they were having the charges. He was charged in New York City for 34 counts of fraud, felony business fraud, because of his lies with Stormy Daniels and how he used campaign funds to hide the fact that he had an affair with a porn star while Barron was still in his mom's womb. In Georgia, when he was trying to do election fraud and force the state secretary to find a certain amount of votes so he could win the state during the 2020 election. Like so much illegal shit. Yeah, Pam Bondi was fired because she didn't go after the people who was doing their jobs, as our justice system is supposed to hold anyone who commits crimes accountable. But, the Supreme Court said that apparently the president has immunity. And again, no one wants to fuck with the president when he has power, which here we are. But Pam Bondi, she wasn't good enough. She didn't make the Epstein files go away, which we are going to make sure that does not go away. There is hundreds, nay, thousands of victims who need justice, and we barely got nothing. No one is arrested. No one is brought into questioning. No one is suffering consequences. And I'm not going to lie. You're saying she didn't make it go away. It ain't going away. You literally spent from 2021 all the way to 2025 saying you will release the Epstein files. Here it is, and your name appears more than Jesus Christ in the Bible and Harry Potter in Harry Potter series, which is 7 fucking books and bigger than the Bible. And there's millions of more files. Not here, disappearing and reappearing. And she was fired because she wasn't good enough for that. So right now for Pam Bondi's future, she has a Congress meeting next week. She is trying to get out of it because she got fired. But no, bitch, you had it in your hand. It was still under your control. Yeah, there's a new guy who is even more psychotic than you, who will break many laws and will gladly be a fall guy. But honey, you just got spent. No one's going to come to your protection. The best you can do is start singing, or else things ain't going to go well for you the second either this regime ends in the next 4 years or he dies. It ain't going to go well for Pam Bondi. It is not. Because again, she has ruined her whole entire identity and career in the modern age just for a pedophile, for protecting a pedophile and many others his ilk. For what? For fucking what? Literally, what? Fame? Infamy? I don't know what they're things. Which, the next one, next to this clown show, Chrissy Nome, which is actually about her husband, which, again, truthfully, I don't care. The guy was just cross-dressing, having enlarging breasts. I like big boobs. Everybody likes big boobs. The dude was doing his own thing. Also, Chrissy Nome is known to be, like, cheating on him all over D.C. It's, like, the worst-kept secret in D.C. that Chrissy Nome is cheating on her husband with some special employee that was under her care, which they bought luxury jets for these dumbasses to fly fuck across the country while ruining people's lives. Well, yeah, it was been outed by, it seems like, an immigrant sex worker who she was in talks with a guy doing fetish and all that stuff. He kind of just ripped her off and she was like, well, fuck you. So they went to the newspapers and pretty much showed video evidence and all that shit of the guy, which, again, I'm actually a decent human being. And I'm like, You do you do you. If you want to cross dress, if you believe if you have different gender, if you have anything like that, that's a you thing. That is what you do. That is your life. I am not going to judge you. I'm not going to change you because again, does not affect me. But the issue is Chrissy Nome is just spent, I don't know, the last year just kidnapping innocent human beings and putting them into concentration camps while also backing homophobic and transphobic bills and people who are pushing horrible ideas and lies, saying that in their idea of Christianity, that we should be hateful to trans and gay people and look down upon them and mistreat them and hate them and make them illegal and take away their right to their identifications. And if you go against this, you're going against Jesus, because Jesus himself said that we should follow the laws. Yeah, so it just shows the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. Like, it is a running joke in this country that if a bunch of Republicans exist in the same area, Grindr is going to crash, because a lot of them are closeted and a lot of them are hiding a lot of shit, but because they got to maintain appearances and how the system is set up, that blind religious hate runs this shit, they have to be hateful, disgusting, horrible human beings. And it's just bad. Now, there is apparently some conspiracy that Chrissy Nome has leaked it herself so she can have some sympathy, but I mean, like, it was pathetic how they are. Like, the family is harmed and would like to quiet. Like, it isn't something bad. This isn't something bad. Like, in the world of politics of 10, 20 years ago, this would ruin someone's political chance just because of how homophobic the United States was. Like, people were throwing the F slur left and right. They were homophobic. TV shows, Friends, all the sitcoms, it was bad. Like, the United States was pretty homophobic in the early 2000s. Now, truthfully, you would win campaigns. A lot of I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of left-leaning candidates came out as cross-dressers. They would win a lot of campaigns with a lot of people, because trust me, I trust a cross-dresser, trans person, drag, anyone in the queer space 10 times more than a regular heterosexual white male, just because of, one, look at the skin color. What did they do the past couple, I don't know, decades, centuries ago? And two, it's literally most of the issues in our country is white male. And it isn't because they are genetically disposed to violence or horrible human beings. It is just like because we built up a system that protects them, and they just seem they feel comfortable and safe enough to go commit mass murder, because that's apparently how they're supposed to express their emotions, and not, I don't know, go to a fucking therapist. But that's Chrissy Nome. That's a whole tangent about Chrissy Nome. She had nothing to do with it. It just shows the hypocrisy. They are passing laws right now in Florida that are chilling the speech of anything queer. Like, they already had the Don't Say Gay bill a few years back, which making it like any teacher, if they just mention that they're near queerness, they're fucked. But now with this new bill, they're just getting rid of any books, any literature, anything that they deem so unsafe for kids, which they say it's about protecting the kids from sexual stuff, but it's just anything that is queer, anything that is not white, anything that is that shows bad history of the United States, and anything that just makes them feel uncomfortable because they're just that sensitive. So, yeah, it's been stressful. Now, to end off this trio of clowns and this circus that we call the Trump regime, we have Kash Patel. Everybody's just FBI. I'm not gonna lie, fuck the feds. Like, before this, fuck the feds. But come on, they had somewhat good PR with their good TV shows with FBI. Like, what was it? The Red List. The feds work with Reddington. It was a fun show and all that stuff. What other FBI shows? I'm sorry. I keep blinking on my TV feeds because I've been mostly watching anime and animated stuff. So I've been like, and that's my head. I stopped watching live action in the past 4 years just because like I've been watching The Rookie, which that's a good cop procedural. A lot of propaganda, a shit ton of propaganda. But yeah, but digressing of my horribly like nostalgia of like propaganda shows. I'm not gonna lie, Cash Patel is just embarrassing the FBI. The FBI used to be something that you should fear. Like they're side by side with the CIA. The CIA they overthrow countries. The FBI they're supposed to overthrow our communities. They're the bastards, the pigs we hate, but actually have some teeth with them. Cash Patel got hacked by Iran. What? Luckily, it has not access to any FBI information or anything like that, but they hacked into one of his personal emails, which pretty much shows him doing normal human stuff like going to Cuba, which you would think if someone went to Cuba, they would automatically understand how stupid the American embargo is because they will meet that they're just a bunch of normal human beings just trying to live their life, and communism, the evil thing that they have, help them get medicine in hospitals and all that stuff. And yeah, there's issues, but that's their issues they can deal with. Just give them fucking food and gas to survive. But I digress. But this is bad. This is bad because you're the FBI director. As someone who worked in IT and stuff like that, you really don't want to have such things like a easy to hack Gmail with photos in it, easy for your adversaries. Because if you have something incriminating in that shit, they can use it against you. And if you are able to blackmail the FBI director, you can get away with a lot of shit. Who do you think deals with terrorist attacks in domestic area? The FBI, domestic and foreign terrorism. They deal with that. You don't want an FBI director who has shown to be, I don't know, just an idiot who doesn't know anything about the job and is barely doing it. Multiple high level employees in the FBI saying like we are losing time and energy and money on this idiot because he's doing it. Who's trying to enforce MMA classes to these officers when they literally have more important shit to do. Who is going to the Olympics just to party with the hockey team when there is more important shit to do at home. Like there's a rise of fucking political violence. People threw bombs at fucking Mondani's house during a fucking white supremacist rally. It's bad. And then and what's even more funny is that there's multiple consumer products. I think it's Ecogni. I hope they ever come sponsor us. So Ecogni, if you're looking at this, or Ground News, please sponsor this show. They would literally just erase this shit for you or just give you hints and stuff like that to deal with this. The FBI have a whole entire department that deals with cyber crimes and cybersecurity. They would have flagged this instantly during his background check and had this shut down instantly before an Iranian hacker group was able to hack into the FBI's one of the FBI's director's personal email, which luckily he has not used since 2019, which he was an FBI director in 2019. So there won't be any important credentials or information in it, luckily. But that still does not show confidence in this psycho circus we are in. Like it is like this tent is on fire. It is perpetually burning, but it's somehow still holding up and just shielding us from even worse shit. And I'm just waiting for this shit to collapse. I am stressed. Like the Department of Education, that's just a shit show. Like McMahon's just shutting that shit down. And I just know in my state, which I used to be a teacher, they're getting rid of most of the funding in North Carolina schools, which if you don't know, most of the funding in North Carolina schools comes from the state, not from the federal level. So a lot of state funding is going away and it's going to hurt a lot of the public school while they're still doing the stupid voucher choice shit. So education shit. Kennedy is just going to do a podcast, which he has been wasting his time just doing podcasts and podcasts and podcasts talking about, oh, y'all, I've been doing cocaine off of toilet seats and shit like that. I'm like, this man is literally making it harder for people to get vaccines and spreading lies about vaccines while also making drug prices a shit show, while also just having goons and idiots in charge of the FDA and the CDC and anything that deals with health and making health. We have over, 2,000 cases of measles in the United States since 2026. This shit, we usually have 20 cases and it's shut down instantly. We're over 2,000. Okay. Coming up to the break. I'm just this circus is burning, and I am forced to pretend everything is okay just so I can keep on marching forward. But I'm not gonna lie, shit is not okay, everybody. I want to be lighthearted and make fun of the guy who has inflatable boobs. But truthfully, I'd rather just have someone with inflatable boobs running the country than whatever the fuck is happening here. So, yeah. See you after the break.
Hi everybody, this is Yarince from the Espera Que show over here. All I'm here is doing a little quick PSA. Use this summer to do volunteer work. Go to your nearest YMCA, go to your nearest homeless shelter, go to whatever community services or programs that you can help out and volunteer. Because right now, we have a bunch of fascist pieces of shit trying to rip apart our country and rip apart the people, our communities, by spreading hate and bigotry. The best way to combat it is, one, working in your community and standing strong to show that you are strong and you're here to help out others. Two, combat misinformation. If you hear bullshit, first research and make sure if it's true or not. If it is not true, call it out. If it is true, get the facts. Be knowledgeable of it because it might come out later. So always stand against that. And three, fuck fascists. Stand against them. Make them feel uncomfortable. There is too many people out there feeling like they can say the hard R or say slurs or be violent. Make them understand that a lot of people died to make sure this hatred and bigotry does not exist. All our civil rights workers, all the people who restored normity, everybody who fought against intolerance and hatred, they died and worked their asses off to stop this. So follow in their footsteps and stop this madness. This is Yarince again from Espera Que, and all I can say is be there for your community and stand up for what's right. Fuck fascism and have a wonderful day.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying Espera Que with Yarince, and I apologize for stumbling over the name. It's the first time that I've talked about the show, and I'm excited to talk about it as we are offering, and you will see on our media pages, we're adding a lot of new shows that have nothing to do with me, but I'm here to talk about it because I'm kind of the company's spokesperson, I guess, or mascot, depending on the day. But anyway, it's a new, exciting, hip new show. I don't know if the kids use the word hip, but I do because I'm old. And anyway, it's getting the Latin Hispanic perspective, but from somebody much younger, from a Gen Z participant that is a young activist in our community. And Yarince's been on many of our shows in the Two Queers and Coffee family. And we look forward to hearing his opinions and thoughts. And I find this show probably one of the most interesting new shows. So check it out. It's available on our family of networks. And just like Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, as normal, all the same bat channels and all the same bat times. Come find us on Wednesday. There's something to watch every week. Anyway, thanks for listening as always, and we'll see you next week.
To end on a light note, because this is actually a good thing. This is actually good. This is what I want. This is what my tax dollars should be going. This is what Elon Musk wishes he is. This is what we should be happy. The Artemis 2 mission to the moon, which is 5 brave psychopaths fling themselves out of Earth, orbit around the Earth to have a nice little boost, goes all the way to the moon and does a nice little drive-by, taking some great pictures on the backside of the moon, and then head back to Earth. Why are we doing this? One, space travel gives us a lot of the modern amenities that we have, like better computing, microwaves, Velcro, a lot of the modern things that we have in our life. If it wasn't for us fighting to go to the moon, we wouldn't have it. Truthfully, we should be spending a lot of money on NASA and space exploration because, one, it will help us understand the universe we live in because we barely know a lot about it. And truthfully, we should know a lot so we are able to live in this universe comfortable and have new ideas, new nuances and stuff like that. And also just because we get to be near the moon and also be able to practice and check out equipment. So when they send the next Artemis mission to the moon where they're hoping to land, and then the next mission where they're hoping to start building a base on the moon, which trust me, that is a lot of hard fucking work and it takes years of planning and money. But trust me, just, I don't know, 300 billion on this is a lot more beneficial to humanity in the long run for 10 years than, I don't know, 200 billion for 1 year in a war that kills hundreds of thousands of innocent people. Well, going back to our light news, light news, the launch started on April 1st. They launched off from Houston. They went up, then to the side so they can go around the Earth. They hit the moon a few days back on April 7th, April 6th. They did the little vibe where they had a moment of 40 minutes where they could not communicate because the moon is a giant fucking piece of rock and radios kind of just can't go through that giant piece of fucking rock. So they were at that little sweet point where no radio waves can reach them. So they were silent. And they were able to be the first humans to actually see a lunar eclipse on the other side of the fucking moon, which, I mean, pretty fucking cool. I'll say that. Neil got a lot of amazing pictures and stuff like that showing us on the backside of the moon, which, fun fact, the moon is tidally locked, aka the face that we see on the moon's surface all the time is the face that humanity has been seeing all the time because that face only faces the Earth. The backside of the moon, the dark side, we literally need to fly over and look at it to be able to see what's going on over there. So they were able to do it, got a lot of great, beautiful pictures, and now they're heading back. They're hoping to splash down in April 10th. So hope they get back home safely and good. It's a long trip. They're like, I don't know, more than like 250,000 miles away from the Earth, which imagine that, like planes fly at 30,000 feet. A mile is around like 32,080 feet in a mile. So, well, I'm overestimating, but planes 30,000 feet in the air. The atmosphere ends around like 10 miles from the surface. Mount Everest is 7 miles. The Mariana Trench is like 9 miles. The Earth atmosphere is pretty big because think of the Earth atmosphere as the ocean. We're at the ocean level, sea floor, and then the top of the ocean is the very thing. It's pretty deep. And then the moon, pretty much all the planets in our solar system. So Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto. Well, Pluto isn't a planet, but you get the idea. They can all fit inside of the distance between the Earth and the moon. And because of this mission, we get to see humanity do it again. And this is good because new ideas in engineering, new ideas of travel, new ideas of space, all the new things we learn from this. And it's just a nice, good story to end on a note of a shitty couple of years on this godforsaken planet. Like, it's like a funny note. After their 40 minutes of silence from Earth, Trump called the crew, but Trump, being Trump, was a dick to the only black astronaut, and also was not enjoyable to talk to. So there's like 1 minute and 39 of just dead air of these crew members, just hands together, just staring at the camera, waiting for this guy to get the picture and hang up while they kept their mouth shut and not said a thing. It's good to know some of the smartest people that we send out there to do the the dangerous things and survive out in space are smart enough not to be so annoying. As our producer asked, like, how are we getting pictures of the dark side of the moon? They're using different wavelengths, so infrared or different types of wavelengths of how they take pictures of the moon, and then or they have different light sources or do high exposure. That's how in some pictures they take is that it's super all black and you only see the moon and the earth. Well, one thing, the moon and the earth is very fucking bright, while all the stars that we get the lights from are like light years away, aka it take years for light to travel this distance. So they use different ways, either through like high exposures with like lights outside of the space shuttle or something like that with the cameras they have, or they use different like wavelengths like infrared just to take pictures of what's going on. Just cool ideas and stuff like that. Like, there are multiple different ways people take pictures on Earth just for science. We use infrared, X-ray. Some people literally use electrons and just splash electrons on something and see what cutouts it leaves with it. It is wild. But all the scientific thing just gives me hope. Gives me hope that we as humanity, if we put our minds together, if we put the money to it, if we take the time and work our asses off, we can do fucking anything. So even though we have a war happening in Iran, even though we have a genocidal apartheid happening in Israel, even though we have massacres happening in Congo, even though we have a war in Ukraine and Russia, even though there is still a genocide happening in Myanmar, I was like, what's going on over there? Still happening. A genocide in Myanmar. The fuck? Either way, even though we live in a world where shit is shit and fascism is in a rise, if you just get enough people, shit can happen and things can change. Because again, we literally just slingshotted someone to the moon and they are right now coming back to our home so they can tell us all the great things they have learned from doing what truthfully is death-defying. Like, I watched the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock and what's his name? Handsome guy.
George Clooney.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock, George Clooney. Great movie. Stress. Again, these spaceships, very thin. It is literally nothingness outside there. If things rupture, you are freezing to death instantly, and it's just suffocation. It's stressful. Like, space is scary. But we need to know what's going out there. We need to know how it's going out there. Because I'm not going to lie. Do you know how godlike it is to go out, to have cameras outside in space to show us literal how clouds are moving so we can point and say, oh, there's a hurricane coming. We can move people out of the way. Do you know how godlike that is? That is because of our ability to travel in space. We should not take granted of this. We should invest in this. We should grow in this. We should take time to learn about renewable energy so we can have better fuel sources while we're going up there. We should take time to figure out how to fight against gravity, figure out if we can make structures out in space, maybe figure out how to clean up space because we have a huge space debris hazard. And if we put too much space debris in space, it'll be harder for us to escape Earth's atmosphere. Like, there is so many great things we can learn from space. And I just want to end on this good, happy note that if we put our mind together with it, we can achieve it. That is how they did this moon landing. Like, it was because of all of America, black, white, gay, straight, trans, Asian, everyone in America worked their asses off to get those 3 men up to space. And we did it again. And now we're doing it after 50 years. We are doing it again. We can do this. We can work hard. We can achieve this. Just please, please, please do not fall for the idiots online who genuinely do not believe this is happening. There are people online falling for very obvious AI pictures. They are fake. These are obviously AI. it is very obvious. They are saying like the earth is flat, that there is a glass dome above the earth, that they're pretending that there is no video. Again, like literally, I have the live stream of the whole mission open up on my screen right now. I am literally looking at a feed of them talking and working on this. There is whole entire YouTube live streams with all the stats, the distance, how fast they're going all the time, every event they're about to do. It is this is real. This is real. You don't need my voice for it. You can literally Google and look at the video of the rocket launching. The hundreds of thousands of people, they're making videos, being happy, being some women in STEM and watching this flying into space. Black people in STEM, watching a black astronaut being one of the first people to see the back of unseen picture, seen parts of the moon. Like, it is real. It is happening. It is good. You're not dumb or stupid for having hope and believing in this. You're good. Like, NASA is one of those good government agencies. Like most of the government agencies, they're ass. NASA, yeah, they started off with Nazi scientists, but at least they're human beings doing cool shit, and they're doing the right thing and have shown that they are decent human beings with ethics and are trying to do the right thing. Obviously, there's some infighting. I remember when I was in a NASA camp and they told me about how Langley and other areas don't even share their stuff, so they sometimes reinvent the same thing. But again, this is something to be proud of. This is something to be happy about. And I'm not going to lie, I am happy that we're doing this. And I am happy that, I don't know, like 0.004% of my tax dollars are going to that. Like, pennies of my tax dollars is making that happen. Imagine if it's just a few dollars. Now, imagine if it's even more dollars for our healthcare. And imagine all those dollars are for our education and childcare and housing and making sure our veterans are treated as human beings and making sure that people have mental health care and making sure we have good gun control and making sure we have good regulations. Like, our tax dollars doing things that help us, you know, think of that. Because if you're able to use literally pennies just to get to fucking space, I think we can use billions to make sure people are living the decent life they are owed in the richest country in the fucking world, which they keep on drilling in our head. Like, they push this dumbass American exceptionalism propaganda lie to all of us in high school for all of our high school career, and now we're at the point where we are not falling for this shit, and they're upset that we want the actual shit they told us. Like, I was proud to learn about the space race in high school history. I'm proud about the Artemis here. Like, there's nobody we're fighting against, but at least we are doing something cool. But that's just me. So we're going to end today's episode of Espera Que of just saying, well, it was a stressful week, a stressful couple of days. Trump still being a psychopath and all that fun stuff. No King's March. It's nice to see people are out there speaking up and doing good. And it's hard to keep sane with this circus fire that is happening around us, but we got to keep on moving forward. So, yeah, this is Yarince, Pascual, Mateo. Thank you for listening to Espera Que on whatever you are listening on, Spotify or YouTube or Facebook. If you are on Facebook or YouTube or anything like that, you can leave a comment and a like, just to tell us that we did good, what you'd like to hear more, what we should improve, all that fun stuff. And to end it off, fuck fascism, fuck fascists. Because at the end of the day, they will lead to so much death and destruction. And I'm not going to lie, we should not sit and take it. We need to stand up and fight against this shit show. Because god damn it, this is ass. This is Yarince, Pascual, Mateo signing out from Espera Que, and fuck fascists.